Could a military invasion of Taiwan by China become a reality in 2024? This question, as unsettling as it may sound, is not as far-fetched as one might expect. The tension between the United States and China has been escalating at an alarming rate, with Taiwan caught in the crossfire. In the past few years, we've seen this tension manifest in various forms, from trade disputes to technology wars and even economic warfare. These superpowers are engaged in a high-stakes battle for geopolitical influence, with Taiwan serving as a key player on the chessboard. Notably, these rising tensions have not gone unnoticed. Billionaire investor Ray Dalio, the founder of Bridgewater Associates, has voiced his concerns, warning that the U.S. and China are dangerously close to a military conflict. He paints a grim picture, likening the situation to a powder keg that could ignite at any moment, with potentially severe economic consequences worldwide. Dalio's warning comes in the wake of the statements from the U.S. president and Chinese president expressing a desire to improve relations. However, the Chinese president's instructions to increase military training in preparation for war cast a shadow over these diplomatic efforts. The tension is palpable, and the stakes are high. Taiwan has become a symbolic battleground for these superpowers, a place where diplomatic words collide with military might. As the pressure mounts, one can't help but feel a sense of unease. So, what's driving this conflict? Why is Taiwan such a crucial piece in this geopolitical puzzle? And more importantly, what could the fallout look like if this tension were to escalate into a full-blown military conflict? As we delve deeper into these questions, we must remember that this is not just about two superpowers locked in a power struggle. It's about the lives of millions of people and the global economic equilibrium that hangs in the balance. The world watches this geopolitical chess match. One can't help but wonder what the next move will be. But what exactly are the stakes here for these two global powers? Let's dive in. On one hand, we have China. For China, Taiwan is more than just an island. It's a symbol of national pride and territorial integrity. Since the end of the Chinese Civil War in the mid-20th century, Beijing has consistently viewed Taiwan as a part of its territory, a breakaway province to be reclaimed. China's efforts to undermine Taiwan's legitimacy on the global stage are a part of this broader goal. By securing Taiwan, China would not only be restoring what it sees as its rightful territory, but it would also be sending a powerful message to the world about its strength and resolve. On the other hand, we have the United States. The U.S.'s relationship with Taiwan is a bit more complicated. While the U.S. does not officially recognize Taiwan as an independent nation, it maintains a robust, unofficial relationship with the island. This includes a legal obligation, under the Taiwan Relations Act, to provide Taiwan with the means to defend itself. For the U.S., standing by Taiwan is a matter of upholding democratic values and maintaining a strategic foothold in the Asia-Pacific region. It's also about pushing back against China's growing influence and asserting its own role as a global leader. So, what's at stake for both nations? For China, it's about national pride, territorial claims, and global standing. For the US, it's about democracy, strategic interests, and global leadership. These aren't small stakes by any means. They involve deeply held beliefs, strategic calculations, and the balance of power in a region that's becoming increasingly important in the global order. With such high stakes, it's clear why this issue has become a powder keg ready to explode. So how did we get to this point of near conflict, you may ask? Well, it's quite a tale of diplomatic chess, military posturing, and a fight for influence on the global stage. Our story begins with a high-stakes meeting between Taiwanese President Tsai Ing-wen and U.S. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, held on American soil. This was no ordinary get-together. It was the highest-level audience a sitting Taiwan president had ever received in the United States, a clear show of solidarity against China's increasing pressure on Taiwan. Meanwhile, China wasn't just sitting idly by. Chinese President Xi Jinping had already ordered China's army to ramp up military training in preparation for potential conflict. The message was clear. China was ready to fight for what it sees as part of its territory, but Taiwan wasn't about to back down. President Tsai took proactive steps to bolster Taiwan's international standing and ensure the island's future would be decided by its people. She embarked on a trip to Central America, promoting democracy and prosperity, and establishing unofficial ties with Western democracies. This flurry of diplomatic and military maneuvers was happening against the backdrop of stark warnings from billionaire investor Ray Dalio. He cautioned that the US and China were already engaged in multiple wars: trade, technology, geopolitical influence, and capital economic. And according to him, they were dangerously close to adding a military war to that list. As tensions continued to rise, the specter of conflict loomed larger. The possibility of a war in Taiwan seemed likely within 2 years, considering the potential shift in U.S. political power and the looming threat of a global economic downturn. The escalation of events has led to a palpable sense of tension in the international community. As we inch closer to 2024, the world watches anxiously, wondering what the future holds for Taiwan, and indeed, for global peace and stability. And how has the United States responded to these developments? The U.S., in its bid to maintain balance and peace in the region, has been taking some decisive steps. In a significant move, the United States has sent warships to surround Taiwan. This maneuver not only demonstrates the U.S.'s military might but also its commitment to Taiwan's defense. This action is part of the U.S.'s strategic response to the escalating tension in the Taiwan Strait. By deploying warships, the U.S. is sending a clear message to China that any aggressive action towards Taiwan will not be taken lightly. It's a statement of intent, a bold signal of the U.S.'s resolve to support Taiwan, even if it means standing up to a global powerhouse like China. While military action is one aspect of the U.S.'s response, diplomacy also plays a crucial role. An unprecedented event took place when the U.S. House Speaker met with the President of Taiwan. This meeting, held on American soil, marked the highest level of audience a sitting Taiwanese president has ever received. It was a strong show of solidarity, an affirmation of the unofficial but important relationship between the U.S. and Taiwan. This meeting and the ensuing discussions underscored the U.S.'s belief in Taiwan's right to self-determination. It also served as a reminder that the U.S. is legally bound to provide Taiwan with the means to defend itself. This commitment, although unofficial, is deeply ingrained in U.S. foreign policy and has been a cornerstone of the U.S.-Taiwan relationship. The U.S.'s response to the rising tension between China and Taiwan, thus, has been multifaceted. On one hand, it has shown its military readiness to defend Taiwan. On the other hand, it has used diplomacy to affirm its commitment to Taiwan and its people. These actions are not just about confronting China's assertiveness, but are also about upholding the principles of democracy and self-determination. The U.S.'s actions clearly show a determination to stand with Taiwan in the face of increasing pressure. But what would be the worldwide economic consequences if China were to invade Taiwan? In the event of a military invasion of Taiwan by China, the global economy could be hit hard. The first blow would likely come from the disruption of the technology supply chain. Taiwan is a key player in the global semiconductor industry, manufacturing nearly 60% of all semiconductors worldwide. A disruption here could ripple across industries from tech and automotive to healthcare and defense, affecting nearly every corner of the global economy. Trade sanctions by Western countries on Chinese goods could be another blow. These sanctions would not only affect China's economy, but could also create a domino effect on the global economy. China is the world's largest exporter of goods, and any significant disruption in its trade could lead to shortages and price hikes worldwide, affecting the affordability and availability of countless products. Then, there's the possibility of companies shifting production away from China. The mere perception of a military conflict can have negative effects on markets and economic activity. Companies, in an effort to avoid potential disruption, may start to shift production to other countries such as India, Vietnam, or Mexico. This shift could, in the short term, lead to increased costs and potential delays in product availability. Moreover, the global economy could also face the risk of a major financial crisis. China is the world's second-largest economy and a significant contributor to global economic growth. An invasion could lead to an economic downturn in China, potentially triggering a global financial crisis similar to that of 2008. In addition, the uncertainty and fear associated with a military conflict could lead to a significant drop in global investor confidence. This could result in a substantial outflow of capital from emerging markets, further destabilizing the global economy. The potential invasion of Taiwan by China thus presents not only a threat to regional stability but also to global economic growth. In conclusion, the potential invasion of Taiwan by China in 2024 is a matter of global concern. We've seen the rising tension between the United States and China, with Taiwan caught in the middle of this geopolitical chess game. The stakes are high for both China, eager to assert its dominance, and the U.S., committed to maintaining the balance of power in the region. The escalation of events from political rhetoric to military posturing has only exacerbated the situation, bringing us closer to the brink of conflict. The U.S.'s response, a delicate balancing act between diplomatic negotiations and military readiness, has so far managed to keep the peace, but the question remains, for how long? The potential global economic consequences of an invasion are daunting. Disruptions in the technology supply chain, trade sanctions, shifts in production, and the risk of a major financial crisis threaten to destabilize the global economy. As we approach 2024, the world watches with bated breath, hoping for a peaceful resolution to this geopolitical crisis.